Welcome to Pete's Garden episode 11. In this one I'm planting horseradish, parsnips and some flowers in the container area. Thanks for watching, don't forget to click subscribe and I'll see you after the titles. So those are the parsnips that I sowed I suppose a couple of months ago in the greenhouse. Now I got a great germination rate with them. Plenty of them came through, about 100 I think, but I left them in the greenhouse too long and they dried out and some of them died off, so I ended up with only about 30. So I've got, you can't see them very well on there I know, so I've got 3 rows of those ones in, but 30 isn't really enough, I want more than that. So over here we've got the parsnips that I've bought from the greenhouse, and this is how I normally plant my parsnips. It's stony soil, which is not ideal. You'd never normally put parsnips or carrots, I mean you said parrots then, you'd never normally put them in stony soil because they might fork, but this soil stays stony whatever I do, and I've put them in here before and they've been perfectly fine. So this is how I normally plant them. You can see I've got the trenches. They're little trenches which I've all I've done is use the back end of the rake to create these drills, they call them, and then all you do, I'll see if I can do it with this camera, but if I hold in this camera, but if I can't, then I may there may be an edit coming here, but let's see if I can do this. All I do is I just pick the thing up. Whoops, hang on a second. I just pick the thing up with one hand and hold it. I don't know if you can see that there, and then just fill it back in afterwards, and I'll show you what it looks like when I've done all of them. I've firmed them in and also gave them the little tug test where you just very gently tug on the leaves. They all look a bit sorry for themselves now, but they all pick up after a while, and of course I'm watering them in. So there we are. In total I've got 8 rows of parsnips, and I think that should be about 70 or 80 parsnips for this winter. So there we go. I planted a horseradish root, such as this one, into this pot a while ago, but it didn't grow at all, and I think that's because I'd left it so long after I bought the horseradish root that I think it had died off before I put it in. So this time I'm planting this one straight after buying it from the garden centre. Now I've never grown horseradish before this year, and from what I've read, all you do is dig a hole and put it in so that the top, which is the green bit there, is about 2 inches below the surface. So there we go, it's quite deeply in, and putting that compost above it, and I will top this compost up actually. The only reason why it's a bit low is because I ran out of compost. There we are, there's the label, and I'm watering it well in, as I would with anything, and there we go. We'll see how the horseradish grows and see whether I get any to make into sauce. So here we come to the container gardening section, and there's a little issue cropped up, because here you can see that I bought some petunia plants from a shop, and they were on discount, and as is so often in that sort of circumstance, the ones that were big stayed big and are growing quite well, and the ones that were small, such as this one, aren't really growing well. And it is a healthy plant, but the experience tells me in these situations that there's something that the garden centre or the shop has done, or their suppliers have done, that means this thing is going to stay small. It's had plenty of opportunity to grow, and it's been in there for about a month or two, and it's still not growing anywhere near as well as the others. And this one over here has been pulled up by the squirrel, it looks like, because I have noticed a little squirrel that darts down from here every morning. It's happened for the last 5 or 6 mornings, and tries to bury his nuts or pick them up from somewhere. It's rather sweet, but it's resulted in that. So I'm going to put the 2 small petunias in these little watering can features here, and if they don't do well, that way I can easily just put them out of view, and if they do, I'll keep them in view. So I've planted the 2 small petunias, including the one that the squirrel probably dug up, into those 2 water things, and also replaced one of them with one of the mimulus plants in there. So you've got 2 petunias and a mimulus, so that should look quite good. And I've planted this one up with 2 mimulus as well, and I'm just going to plant the 3rd one now. So why did I choose mimulus? I chose mimulus because they look very similar to the petunia flowers. Actually, the plants don't look similar, but the flowers do. I'm firming the things in so that they get very strong contact with the soil. I'm trying to be careful about it so that the stems don't snap. Now, I did notice on a couple of the plants that I bought from the garden centre that a couple of them had snapped stems already. There's my shirt, and one of them, in fact, I realised I wouldn't be putting in because it's almost dead, so I wouldn't have bought that if I'd realised. There's inside the mimulus flower. And why did I plant it so deep? Well, I planted them deep because as you can see, they're quite flimsy, quite floppy plants, and I wanted to kind of root them, if you like, get them well established in the ground. Anyway, there we go. So that's the mimulus. Let's see if the camera focuses on it this time. There we go. There we go. So that's it. Once again, thanks for watching. I'll be back with episode 12 very soon, probably in the next week or so. Again, don't forget to click subscribe, and bye for now.